Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're finally back doing another podcast episode instead of an Among Us gameplay. And as you can see, we have a new guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm RYZEN.
So RYZEN is our friend for a long time, but we finally got in contact with him and we brought him on for an episode that I think is perfect for him to be on. Since it is October and Halloween is coming up, we're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories. So today we all came with 2 conspiracy theories that we're going to talk about, see what everybody else thinks, share our opinion, and then see where that goes. So Myra, you want to go first?
Should I talk about my first conspiracy theory?
Oh, disclaimer about Myra's first conspiracy theory.
It's not bad at all.
It's
my first conspiracy theory, Helen Keller is a fraud.
It is.
Let's get into this.
It is. Okay, hold on. No, I need to. I have morals. It's kind of ableism, but
Please define.
Do you want me to define ableism?
Yes. For the slower person.
Define ableism. Ableism. What does it look like? Ableism is discrimination of social prejudice of people with disabilities. For example, blindness and deafness.
Well, okay, it's not really against her.
It's not against people who are blind or deaf.
And I'm
more of just like a.
So that's why I needed to say now.
It's possible. I'm just saying her story does not make that much sense.
This is us being confused about that specific incident. This is not us saying that people that have like necessary physical disabilities are necessarily frauds or whatever. This is us questioning something else.
Yeah, questioning the facts.
And if it comes down to it, Myra came up with it, not me.
Are you throwing me under the bus?
Yes, I am. College.
Helen Keller conspiracy theory. For the people that don't know about her, Miss Helen, she went blind and deaf at 19 months old, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say about her. In 2020, the prognosis for a child that young that goes blind and deaf is that they will never be able to communicate, engage in convo, and function normally in society because they're lacking like any like sense. Like if a deaf person can rely on sight, but a blind person can't rely on deaf. You know what I'm saying? But she has neither, so like she can't really perceive connection and function how a normal person would. But they said that Helen Keller did. So that's why it gets a little tricky.
She's also an author.
Yeah, she could read and write too, which
okay, she obviously couldn't read. How are you gonna read?
Yeah, how do you learn Braille?
Because like here's my thing. For me it's weird because I took AP language last year, and so each of us got like a passage for our actual AP exam that we had to like do a rhetorical analysis on, where we basically
you did not have Helen Keller.
I had a passage from Helen Keller's autobiography. At the time, I thought nothing of it because I was like, I need to read this passage and talk about literary devices and talk about how her rhetoric affected her thing. And so then after I did that, we were talking in like our AP language group chat, and then we were like, oh, what passage did you get? Because everybody got different passages. And I was like, oh, I think I got like a pretty easy one because it was like a narrative storytelling instead of like a nonfiction like historical piece like some people did get. And then I was like, oh yeah, it was a passage from Helen Keller's autobiography. And then someone just brought up, they were like, how does that exist? Because it's an autobiography, meaning that she had to have written it. And then after that, I was like, wait.
How does that
and
work?
I researched it. In all of history, and even today, there is no one else like her. No one else has claimed to be able to read, write, or talk when they're blind or deaf.
Right.
It's only her.
Wait, she could talk?
Only her.
Could she talk?
Hundreds of years.
I think she spoke sounds and like formulated certain sounds to make a word.
That's another thing. Her mentor or teacher, Anne Sullivan or whatever, is so sus. I swear that, you know how you can teach birds to like mimic sounds?
Wait, hold on. Not the Among Us language, not the sus.
Sus. Anne Sullivan is sus. Anne Sullivan is so good. I also think that Anne Sullivan used Helen as a publicity stunt just to talk about her own views and political stuff. Because they would do a lot of like political, like extremist speeches together, but I swear it was just Anne using the fame. And
That
that's all.
I feel like that could make sense. I feel like a lot of people do that kind of stuff to get attention onto themselves.
Yeah, like using people, I guess. Yeah.
As a side note, I would 100% recommend reading Helen Keller's autobiography.
Is it interesting?
Whether or not she wrote it or not, it's a good book. It's
Not you
very
reading
well written. It is very well written.
That's crazy.
Whoever did it.
Maybe she had like a quote.
Whoever did it. Sorry, Helen.
No, like,
But-
well, because you're making me really confused. Because how could she write, and even if she didn't write it, how could she communicate to somebody to write it? Because she obviously can't like physically write because she can't see. My only thing in my head that I can think of for her to receive knowledge would be by Braille. But how would you learn how to read Braille if you can't hear people
Yeah.
say things?
Yeah, it's like she's speaking her own language in her head, probably. Just so outcasted from society. How?
What do you think her dreams were like?
That's the thing. Like, I know that blind people, they can't, when they dream, they don't see anything.
And they dream in like feelings.
Yeah, they dream by like, without the visual factor, which is
But
interesting.
they can still
How do
hear.
you-
So would hers just be like darkness and like either happiness and or sadness or fear? Like,
It has like of like touch.
mm.
Like maybe a nightmare would be like touching a hot thing.
Just that feeling.
Yeah, the feeling of.
Feel
I
the.
feel like that is so much worse than having like, a full visual nightmare. I'd rather see it than like have no idea what it is and just feel like.
Feel the feeling. That's weird.
Okay, Ryzen, do you want to share your first theory?
Oh yes, sure. Okay.
Wait, after each conspiracy theory, we should rate it on a scale of like 1 to 10. How plausible do we think it is?
Okay.
Okay, so you go first. It's your theory, and I need time to think because I'm still so
$5,
confused.
or should we do like just
Would one be
One be like it's definitely fake, and then like are we doing 1 to 10 or like 1 to what is our scale?
how about 1 to 5?
Okay,
5.
so 5 being like, oh that's sus, and then 1 being like it's definitely fake.
I'm looking probably like 3.8, almost 4 on this one because I just can't make it make sense.
Right.
That's my
I think I don't know. I'm at around maybe like a 2.5 to 3 because on one hand it's like I like maybe it's different for me because I like really like respect like the fact that she like if this is true like that is tough and she did a great job being there and like you know writing like her stuff in a book and talking about how she overcame her fears and stuff.
in that attic.
And I like respect that so much, but at the same time I'm so confused. Like it's because I don't I don't want it to be like I'm doubting her or whatever, but it's like I am confused.
Yeah. It's just her being the only one that's ever been able to achieve that out of like 7 billion people in the world for hundreds of years. That's what makes me question it a lot.
I'd say in my head what I think is more I think it's less of me being like sus of her and more of me being like sus of the people around her. Because I feel like it would be easy for them to formulate stuff and then she would obviously have no idea.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's less of maybe like she was a fraud and more of like she was there and then the people around her were sort of like making things up and like frauding. That's what I would say is more of probably what it was, if anything.
I'd say yeah. I'm with you guys. I go around like a 3, like middle. Yeah.
Next conspiracy.
Okay. So my first conspiracy theory is the moon landing and how it's fraudulent because this is this is the fakest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so there's a lot of footage which is now lost, by the way. Like a lot of the moon landing footage has been lost and they can't find it anymore. It's no longer existent in the world. Sus activity by the NASA. So NASA does a lot. Oh wait, that goes into my other theory. Never mind. But So like the moon landing theory. Oh, I apologize.
He agrees.
Thank you. So there's lots of pictures and stuff from the moon landing, and there's a clip of the two space people. I don't know who landed on the moon, but they.
Armstrong is the one that did.
Yeah, them,
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Lightyear, and then and then not me not knowing my information, but when they put the flag in, you can see it like blowing, like it's in the wind, or like there's a current above it. So yeah, people think that there was like a studio where they set it up to make it look like the moon, and they filmed in there, and like there's lots of like there's like a picture of a rock, and the rock has like a written letter on it, like it's supposed to be like a set piece. And then inside of the reflection of the helmet, you can see like something hanging from the sky. So yeah, lots of sus things that's around our moon landing.
Yeah, I think I saw a video about that once, and like going on sort of what you said about like the flag and like how there was like wind when that's like not a thing in space. Right. There was a thing where there was like the picture of the first footsteps on the moon, right? Mm-hmm. And then from another angle, the footsteps were gone, as if like how could that have even happened if there's no gravity or wind? How could like the dust or the dirt on the moon have shifted, or like, you know, because you would have seen something else be there instead of it just being completely flat.
Right. Sus activity. By the NASA.
I'm literally hearing about that, and I still believe it. I mean, do we think going to the moon is possible? Yeah.
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 I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. When did the moon landing happen? 19 something?
When did the moon landing happen? When did the moon landing happen?
1959, I think.
Okay, so do we think that at that time, it's 1969.
1969?
Nice number.
Yes.
Well, I've seen lots of sources saying like people that work at NASA, they're like, we can't do the same. We don't have the technology to do it, which is strange because I feel like we've evolved in technology. Mm-hmm. Even like now, like I feel like we could still do it. So it's possible that they've never done it.
Yeah.
Especially with the context, it could be possible because weren't we trying to get to the moon before Russia because of the whole Sputnik thing?
Yeah, just gonna say that the government totally would have been like, nope, we're better. We did it. See?
So that's why I think that could have been motivations. At the time, there was a lot of like nationalism going on in America, trying to be the best, the strongest country out there. So I could definitely see how it could be, especially because we're capitalism versus communism in Russia, how we were trying to like assert superiority.
Let me share a screen.
Oh, I'm scared.
I'm gonna show the audience what we're talking. Huh?
The pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
In case they aren't familiar with this iconic photo. This right here is what we're talking about.
Yes, the rock prop.
Also, who is filming is such a good question. Was it, if that is Armstrong, then is the other one Oswald or whatever? So where is Oswald?
Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin.
Not Oswald.
Put some respect on his name.
Sigh. This is very sus activity. Oh. I wish they had the video. I can't believe they would cover that up. Sneaky little guys. That is us.
Do we have anything else to add, or are we ready to rate this one?
I think we said everything. Yeah, we can rate it.
All right, RYZEN, you're confusing you first.
I think this is actually very. I think I wouldn't put it past America to like fake something in order to be the first one to do it. So I'd say it's something like 4 or 4.5.
I'm definitely out of 4.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at a really high 3, almost a 4, because the only thing that's like holding me back from a 4 is we could do it. I feel like our science is like up there, but maybe just not 1969. But yeah, a really high 3 for me. Period.
So my first conspiracy theory is probably like the only one that I'm like so interested in that I will continue to like research it like on my own time, is JonBenet Ramsey's case. So for those of you who don't know, JonBenet Ramsey was murdered in her own home.
Pageant girl.
Yeah, when she was a pageant girl when she was really young, and to this day, the case is, we don't know who did it. And so the story behind it is sort of like she died, but like her body wasn't, okay, so she died like in the basement or something. And then like there was like strangling marks on her neck, but there was like DNA on her clothes and like, but then nobody had like, it had to have been done, like they had to have killed her while the entire family was home. And so then there was like a ransom note or something about it, but the ransom note, okay, so that goes into sort of what I think, which is JonBenet Ramsey's brother killed her and then her family covered it up for him. So basically, JonBenet Ramsey was like a pageant girl. She was like super pretty. Everybody loved her, especially like pervy older men, and she got like a lot of positive attention. And then I feel like her brother was jealous, and they had an argument one day. He just killed her, and then her parents found the body, and they tried to cover it up because they had sort of ruled out a lot of the people that had been visiting the family because of like either they weren't there or would not have been possible. And then also I feel like they tried their best to cover it because there was the ransom note, but the ransom note was written on Patsy, the mom's notepad, and almost like identically her writing. And also the ransom note did not make sense. So I feel like she tried to write a ransom note, but since she's never written one, she didn't know what it's supposed to look like. And that's why the writing itself was off. Moreover, they were trying to like, so that like the window was broken. That's how somebody came in. But if you break in through a window, the glass is going to be shattered on the inside. The glass was definitely shattered on the outside of the building. Not the inside. So I think that the brother killed her and the parents didn't want anything to happen to the brother and they didn't want any like slandering on their family. So they tried to cover it up.
True. If you lose one kid, don't want to lose the other one to jail. Is there anything about the brother being like mentally ill?
Oh, okay. I don't know about him being mentally ill, but if you look it up and you watch like the videos of his interviews when they ask what happened, he is creepy. They like asked him a question. He was like smiling about it. He was like, I don't know what happened to her. It's so sad or whatever. And I was like, that is off. Why are you know, like typically I feel like if your sibling is murdered, you wouldn't be like,
you would not want to be on camera talking about it.
Like, like either like pissed off or like sad or like, I don't know, not whatever emotion he was displaying. Like, I don't know. I think the whole thing is sus. And
there's literally a picture of him smiling during a Dr. Phil interview.
Yeah, make me the host and I will pull one up.
That's very like, it's giving me very much Carol Baskin vibes from Tiger King. Where she's like, when they're like, did you murder your husband? And she's like, no. And she's smiling. That's, yeah, I'm getting very much that vibe.
The glass on the outside of the window was so like,
yeah.
Bruh.
And especially like they were trying to say like, because she had like unknown DNA on like her underwear. But then it was later found out that the DNA on her underwear was from like the factory workers who like processed and like packaged the underwear for like selling. So it couldn't have been, that DNA has nothing to do with her case. So I was like, in that case, literally her brother probably strangled her because she had just been eating, I think it was like pineapple or something before, like from the autopsy. And it was pineapple that was from her kitchen. Like that was Patsy's like pineapple. And then she just died. So like, I literally think her brothers killed her in the house for no reason.
If you're gonna kill your sister, at least do a little research, Miss Girl.
So this is the brother.
Not the bad ransom.
That is so.
Yeah. It's really creepy.
And it's still unsolved today.
Yeah, so there's still no person. Like, look at his eyes and tell me that that's not absolutely terrifying.
Murderer eyes.
Let me see if I can find one of the ransom notes. So, like, this is the ransom note. It did not make sense. And, like, they compared it to the mom's handwriting. I think this might be, I don't know. But, like, the writing is almost the exact same. And, like, if you looked at the, like, you know how, like, when you write on, like, a stack of paper, you can sort of see the impression from what you wrote from the paper on top of it.
Also kind of, like, feminine writing.
That they wrote the ransom letter multiple times, and they were like crumpled up versions of it with words like crossed out because they kept messing it up. And I literally just think that is because Patsy over here did not know how to write a proper ransom note.
She had multiple tries.
She did.
Her daughter's death.
It's so weird.
Yeah. It's just
that. Bro, it's so sad that it's still like unsolved. Also, was her family like really rich? Because they totally could have like paid to get some stuff.
They were very wealthy and like very popular in the media, so it's very plausible that they tried to cover it up.
They would not want any dirt on their name that they
are so like an Epstein situation. In the case, like,
that is messy.
So that is for me. Obviously, I think it's 5 out of 5. It's everything about the story is so sus.
Right.
The broken glass on the outside, the fact that everybody had to have been home, but nobody noticed somebody either breaking glass or like coming into the house, like,
or sure their little daughter just in the basement.
Yeah.
With so much.
I feel like if you get strangled, you don't just like be like, okay, you'd like scream. You would like fight. Something would fall. There'd be like thudding or like whatever. There's no way that like nobody either A, thought about, oh, why is John Bonet over there in the basement by herself, or B, didn't hear her try to struggle to get out.
Or like the glass breaking. Like if it was a break-in, then sure you could hear glass breaking.
Also, if it was just the brother, she would still be screaming of him attacking her. So that makes me feel like someone else was in on it too.
Yeah, like covering
some family member, like.
So for me, like, it would just make sense if they're like, oh, she's with her brother. Maybe they're just like having an argument. Maybe they're playing a game or whatever. And that's probably why it was less of a concern.
Gosh.
Yeah, I agree with you. It could be like a 5.
Yeah, that one is a really close 5. Her family is definitely behind it.
Yeah.
They have something to do with it.
All right, Myra, do you want to talk about your second theory?
Okay, my second theory, I don't really like full-heartedly believe in it, but after visiting the website, the Beatles never existed, I kind of am like, there's some stuff that is true and sus. So basically, the website.
Wait, are you saying the band never existed? Okay, I was like, because the people most definitely exist. Paul McCartney is.
In fact, it's not real, and this is why. The band existed, but not in the way that we think it did, because the website that I was like looking at, they examined it and they got so much like evidence to why they believe it, and their conclusion is that the band was just an elaborate hoax pulled off by actors and conspirators and basically parade of doubles who are pretending to be the Beatles for the British music establishment to make more and more money, because the 4 of them were in so many shows and almost like at completely different places in such short amount of time that it's like such a manic schedule. It makes no sense. And also there's pictures of the Beatles, but it literally shows like they look different. Let me show you. I have JPEGs.
JPEGs.
You got the PNG.
I have JPEGs.
Wait, so
let's look at this. This is ears. Like bruh. Move this out of the way. Like bruh. Look at that little cleft ear, and then look at that. Oh my god, the school is so dumb. They literally block the website. I tried to go to it, and I can only go on it on my phone. I don't know which one is Paul, but I'm pretty sure this is Paul. And then this is Paul in the same year. And grown men do not grow that much. They stop growing at least 20s, and they're like in their 30s or whatever. So that is us.
Not the growth spurt in the 20s.
That is, yeah.
Tall Paul, short Paul.
And this is just two completely different people. Like, what is this? Literally, what is this?
No, maybe he had a glow up.
Maybe he got a nose job or something.
Because the nose looks the exact same.
True.
I think the bottom picture is less sus because the hair does a lot to appearance.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that the eyes and the nose are the same. In terms of the lips, it could just be the lighting.
That is true.
But like the tall Paul is a little confusing. Maybe he's like.
And the ear. Please don't like.
Yeah, the ear is weird, but
I'm pretty sure this one is later. So I don't know if he had an accident, but there's no reports of him having an accident. So that's why it's sus. Yeah, that's a really simple conspiracy, but basically, I don't think it was just 4 people. I think it was just a hoax to make more money. And they were just icons that went around and mic'd songs.
That makes me so sad. The Beatles made good music, though, whoever they were.
It like hurts to think about, so I'm really skeptical on it.
Yeah, I'm probably biased because
Our 5th grade concert.
Yeah, because nostalgia, I'm very biased. I have a Beatles shirt too.
I know if I had clips of it, I would show right now to the audience, but
Oh, do you want me to show the audience? Pick a song, any song. Which one? No, not Hey Jude. That's really rude.
It's like a copy strike.
No, we sang it really off. It's not gonna matter.
Don't roast ourselves. What did we do good? Don't cry. It will be okay.
What song is that?
That one song.
Can we do like a swing dance or something to some song?
Oh, we can do 8 days a week.
Okay, Miss Ahi.
8 days a week.
I did not dance to 8 days a week. You danced 8 days a week. Ryzen and I, not Ryzen, Myra and I danced to Michelle.
My bell.
Y'all learned French for that.
Yeah, y'all do not want to see that video.
I'm rating out of 1. I'm salty.
Yeah, I'm on like a 2.3 on it, but like it still was like pretty weird because I didn't even know that was a conspiracy until I was like searching around for conspiracies. And then I was like, wait a minute. What are these images?
Well, here's the thing. We know that in America, a lot of companies they have like stunt doubles for like paparazzi and stuff like that. So a lot of American music industries, they will get people who can sing like the celebrity, or they can get someone that looks like them, and they'll like send them out on like the streets and then get pictures of them doing stuff for paparazzi and publicity. So I wouldn't say that this theory is too far-fetched from what people do for publicity. So I think this could be a theory.
But then like at the same time, I wouldn't say that the Beatles are fake. I would say that the Beatles had like doppelgangers that were used for publicity, not necessarily that the band itself was fake. The band could have been real, but their fame could have been somewhat cheated in that aspect, is what I would say this would turn into then.
Yeah. Nice.
Wow. Okay, let me get mine. Okay, my second theory is this is a theory, and it's been proven many times that it is very incorrect. But this is a theory that the Earth is flat. Okay, let me get into this.
This is a theory. This is a fact.
This is no longer a theory. I'm going to make it a fact. Okay, so where do I start? So okay, we know there's a lot of people who think that the Earth is flat. I'm not one of them. I'm a believer of like science and stuff like that. That like, oh, Earth is round because like, if it was flat, the Earth wouldn't be functioning the way it would if it was flat.
Believer of science.
I'm a believer of science, but So like yeah, like earthquakes may be possible in a flat Earth because like tectonic plates need to shift, and then if it was underneath a flat Earth, then it would fall off, right, or something like that. So there's one theory that, well, part of the flat Earth theory is that Antarctica is actually a ring around the flat Earth, and it's like the barrier to whatever else is past that. So the reason why everyone thinks that Antarctica is like a border to the outside Earth is because I don't know what year it was, but all the biggest nations signed a treaty to not allow people to go past a certain point in Antarctica. So yeah, that's a little sus because, you know, the military, they like hiding a lot of things from us. And then there's lots of stories of like plane flights going weird routes for things to get to different places, and like taking like longer routes, which would be on the globe, but like if it was on a flat Earth, then it would be the shorter route. Yeah. So that's the weird stuff. That's like that's what about the regular Earth.
I heard once about how like there was like a flight from some state to some other state, and this lady was like going into labor mid-flight. So like you may need to land somewhere, and instead of landing in like the next like nearest state because they were going over an ocean, they went somewhere else that like looking at a globe you would be like, why? That looks like an extra at least hour of airtime. But then like apparently that was the shortest one. If you look at the flat Earth one, it would be significantly closer. So like I see like I see what you're saying there. But like I'm just gonna say it. I think the Earth is round.
Yeah, the Earth is round. It's not flat. And then
opinion, I think we have a spherical Earth.
Yeah, the thing that makes me think it's a sphere is that all other planets, if we look up into the sky with like those things, telescopes or whatever, we see the little circles. So like why would we be like a little disc?
Right, yeah, out of all planets.
Or like
but to be fair, that could be fake images.
Right. So yeah, that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up. So a lot of the information and pictures that we get from space is from NASA. And as we know,
I'm crying in AP World History right now. Memorize explorers and what routes they took for trading is crying right now.
So here's another thing. So NASA sends us and shows us all the pictures they get. And the reason why everyone thinks the Earth is flat is because first of all, we can't trust the government 100%, you know, but Earth is just like is a composite image of a bunch of pictures. And so the satellite is outside of Earth taking pictures of sections of the Earth, and then they put it all together to make it look spherical. So it could be all fake. The Earth could be just not what we think Earth looks like, you know? So that's another reason why people just don't trust it.
Yeah, I agree. I like barely trust the government. Barely.
Yeah, they hide a lot of stuff.
The Earth is round, dude.
Well, yeah, the Earth is round. But
Earth is round, but when it comes to other stuff, the government hides so much from us.
Aliens exist.
Oh my god, I saw this post the other day where it was like, all I'm saying is, you know how like everyone's talking about how like 2020 like is the worst because so many horrible things happen so fast. They were like, notice how everything that went wrong happened after we raided Area 51.
Yeah, the government be like, y'all want to come from?
You know what? Disease.
Boom.
They just drop it on us. Yeah. Why?
For us.
No, I'm not gonna call out America right now. No, it's not the time.
New conspiracy theory.
We will have a political podcast when the elections are around. Let's have a political podcast.
I don't know anything about politics.
Me either. I just like trashing them.
I'm very uneducated.
Yeah,
I'm on political TikTok because I like fighting with racists in the comment sections.
I'm definitely, what TikTok am I on? I'm on like college prep TikTok, you know, exactly what you'd expect from me. I get like SAT math tips.
Oh, that's far off from what
At least it's not those two weird twins.
No, shut up. I love Andrew and Curfy.
No.
Leave them alone.
RYZEN, literally the other podcast, I made a giant presentation on why Andrew and Curfy were murderers and probably serial killers.
Oh my god, I love Andrew and
They
Curfy.
are creepy and lack human skills.
They're not creepy. They're funny. You're just upset that you're not.
Who's Andrew and Curfy?
I will send you their videos after this podcast. Anyways, my final conspiracy theory.
They're worse than the Da Vinci twins.
Let me talk.
Do not tell me you think Da Vinci funny.
My
Actually,
Oh,
my
Da
final conspiracy theory is that hashtag free Britney. So basically,
speaking of TikTok,
it blew up recently where Britney Spears has been posting some really weird, strange videos on Instagram and all that stuff. And people were sort of like, yeah, she's acting weird. She's looking different. Like, we don't understand. People are thinking she's being, like, held captive and, like, drugged and stuff. But, like, years before this, I saw a video, like, where it kind of talked about how she used, like, you know how she has that very, like her voice is very distinguishable. It's kind of, like, nasally, if that makes sense.
Oh, baby.
She didn't always sing like that.
Right.
She used to sing very differently. And then, people are saying that her management or whatever, like, sort of started to force her to sing that way to sort of, like, sexualize her more, make her more of, like, sort of, like, icon that she is now, rather than, like, her deeper, more, like, natural voice. So then people are saying that her voice started to get really raspy, and then people started to, like, make her take drugs to keep her the way that she is. And then now it's sort of, like, I watched the videos that she uploaded that people are talking about. It is odd.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's a lot of sus on her boyfriend too. They think that he's like very controlling over her because there was this one TikTok that was posted to her TikTok, but then it got taken down later where she was like dancing or whatever. But then he kind of like pulled her and like whispered something to her, and then she totally like switched up what she was doing. I saw that. I was like, "What is this? What is this?"
She's being like held captive and like hit or like
Built up too. They think her management like constantly has her on drugs, so she can't really like speak for herself, and she relies on them basically because she wants that addiction. Free Britney.
It sort of reminds me of, do you guys remember the whole thing with Marina Joyce?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot of that, where she was, and now she's making like normal videos.
Yeah, no.
So like that's that. I don't know, like that's a whole different conspiracy theory. But like Marina Joyce, basically, she would make YouTube videos where she was very like loopy, I guess. So she'd be like, "Hey, welcome to my video, and today this is my video where I'm going to be showing you this in my video about this." And that was like really weird. And like apparently people were saying that there were like guns and stuff in the backgrounds of the videos because someone was like keeping her captive to make videos. It kind of gives me that vibe with like this conspiracy theory.
Totally.
I mean, it could be just like a big publicity stunt
Mm-hmm.
because it's been so memed over that like the label could be like, okay, now that everyone's like seeing this, let's continue to push this crazy Britney out so that Britney can still stay relevant in the current time. It could be, but
That's true.
She isn't being held hostage in that like she could be in big danger.
My thing with that though would be like, I'm surprised that if that is what it's like a publicity thing, that Britney's just okay with it. Because I feel like she had so much success in her earlier years where she could have enough money at this point where she could just sort of retire, sort of step back from the limelight, and she could be fine for the rest of her life. So I'm just, if it is a publicity stunt, I don't know, I'm just sort of skeptical of whether or not she would willingly be like, yeah, I'll act like this in front of the public eye for whatever. Or like even like if her boyfriend is okay with him being sort of pictured as like abusive, druggy, scary dude just for his chick to have fame for extended periods of time.
Not, oh my gosh, not them actually keeping her captive, seeing the memes and being like, nice, let's roll with it. That's why Britney's like, stuck in a pickle here.
Yeah, and then there's like a bunch of things that like videos and pictures of like Britney doing things that people comment. Like people like wear yellow in your next video if you're being held hostage, and she wears yellow in the next video and stuff like that. or like blink 3 times if you're being hostage, and she's like on a live video and she blinks 3 times. So like, yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know if she's rolling with the memery, or if she's really being held hostage or something like that.
Hard to say, or even like the people holding her hostage could be like, we need more publicity, you need to wear yellow in this video.
Right, yeah, to like go, yeah.
And it's like, we'll never like really know, because people with that much money and status, like there's nothing you can really do.
Wait, this is so unrelated. Did you guys ever see that girl on TikTok where all she does is like move her head like this and like make that face?
Not M to the beats, not M to the beats.
Yeah, her.
Is that all she does?
All she does is make videos. She's like, and that's all she does, and it gets like millions on millions of likes.
I might just start doing that.
It started with the M to the beats, M to the beats.
I don't know. I don't understand her.
I think I either pressed not interested when I seen her videos or blocked her.
I just get all the duets of people like, if you treat my video like hers, then I can buy a house.
I'm the house.
Incredibly funny.
That was a super interesting episode. I think
Very topical.
yeah, I didn't even know that the Beatles conspiracy like existed.
Never that.
Me either.
It's interesting to think about like how many of the conspiracies sort of relate to like pop culture and like publicity.
Mm-hmm.
But like we'll genuinely never know about any of them. Because like if they're high up, they're wealthy. If they want to keep that a secret, it's gonna stay a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, to have that power.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just not. I'm chilling with nobody knowing who I am.
RYZEN's over there like, I'm gonna be famous. What are y'all talking about?
RYZEN's like, I post other people's content on YouTube and get 1 million views. Have you seen brother Ian correcting sister James Charles for 3 minutes straight? Or I like how once you posted a video about yourself and someone commented, they were like, "Where's Escape Tonight episode?" Yeah. For a recap.
Heartfelt video too about was it your dog? And they commented that.
Yeah, sometimes RYZEN posts like actual like serious stuff, and people are like, "Where's Escape Tonight recap?"
Recap. Where that it? I'm like, y'all are the reason why I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, not Escape Tonight. Just like.
Hate you. Bad. No, like, yeah. It's really weird. I'm like a weird person where it's like, if you tell me what to do, I'm not gonna enjoy it. Oh. If you tell me what to do, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much. So when people start telling me to do, I'm just like, nope, never mind. And then I don't want to do it anymore.
Me at home, like willingly gonna do something, and my parents like do this, and I'm like, y'all hear some?
Not me.
Y'all hear me. That is funny.
But anyways, thank you so much, RYZEN, for joining us on this episode. Hopefully we can have you back for another one. And thank you all of you for watching this episode. Thank you for, if you watched our other videos, for sticking with us. And we will see you again next Friday for a new episode of eX-MA, whether it be a gaming video or another podcast. You'll have to find out. Also, we don't even know yet. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.